almost cannot believe that this clip even exists. Gunnar Henderson beat the left field wall in Baltimore for his MLB best 14th home run. Do you know how insane it is for a lefty to do that? Juan Soto is probably one of the 3 or 4 other lefties that could probably do that along with Gunnar. And yesterday, I think he secured himself $500 million. That's how much I think Soto is going to get. It's one of the best trades of the last 2 decades. Edwin Diaz opened up about the fact that he has completely lost his confidence as a closer, which really sucks to hear him be that candid, but I hope that he's going to turn it around. And we saw not just 1, but 2 at-bats end in a home run after going 12 plus pitches. All of that and more in today's MLB Recap. We post these every single day, so don't miss out. Join the channel. Hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 500,000. I cannot believe it. Also, guys, don't forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off all of your tickets. And my code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy gets new users up to a $250 bonus credit. Don't miss out. All right, here we go. The Angels were taking on the Rangers. Taylor Ward and Adolis Garcia, they basically went perfect to the exact same spot in the ballpark. Ward went 406 for his 10th home run, and Adolis, he just beat him 410 feet for his 11th home run. Both starters, they were on top of their game. Sandoval and Jose Urena, of all people, they only allowed 1 run each. So this solo home run right here from Joe Adell in the 7th actually gave the Halos their lead back. Joe's up to 8 home runs, and his bat speed is top 3%, which is a great sign. If he can keep building on the improved chase and walk rates, he's going to be a perennial 30 home run, 30 stolen base guy. Now, after Texas tied it on a sac fly in the 8th, Joe Adell stole his 8th bag in the same game that he swatted his 8th home run. He eventually ends up at third base. If the Angels score, they'll win. Kirby Yates then got Zach Neto looking, and Joe, he was left stranded. So we go to the 10th inning. Travis Gronkowski, he wants to walk it off. He jolted a line drive to Adell, and I thought no chance he's going to be able to beat Josh Smith. Not only did he beat Smith, he beat him by a couple feet. Joe showing off all the tools in this game. Now, both teams, they got to keep on playing. It went 13 innings. Now, umpires, if you guys did not know, they can call a crew chief review. They can call their own replays to see if Gronkowski got picked off or not. They didn't do that, so Ron Washington, he's upset. And then right after that, he intentionally walked Corey Seager to set up a potential double play. They did not get the double play. They got walked off on a walk-off hit by pitch. That is just your average Halos loss in 2024. Just like the last game, both starters in this Pirates and Cubs game were pitching like their life depended on it. There was just 1 run for the first 8 innings, and that's between both teams. Shutout Shota, he's earning that nickname because Imanaga tossed another shutout, 7 innings without allowing a single run. He also struck out 7. The other guy on the bump, Bailey Falter, he did not have any faults. Okay, he wasn't as nasty, but man, he can really avoid barrels and hard contact when he's on top of his game. These guys combined for nearly 15 shutout innings, only 7 hits between the pair of them. Now, if you bought Shota cards, you might be a bazillionaire now because he has a 0.84 ERA and 58 strikeouts over his first 50-ish innings. He's been insane. He has a 4.98 ERA plus. The average ERA plus is 100, so he's been 398% better than average, I think. Is that the math? So like I mentioned, we head to the 9th inning, still 0-0. Belly, he laced a double down the line to get himself in scoring position, and we're going to have another play at the plate. Morel, he sent one back where it came from, and Michael A. Taylor has a hose piece. The throw got there in time, but Joey Bart dropped it. He drops the tag. Belly, he scores to give Morel a walk-off base knock. If you guys don't have a beverage or a snack, I would suggest getting one for this next game. After the Mets went up 2 in the first, JD, he singled in Lindor, and Vientos brought home Nimmo. Nick Gordon and Jazz Chisholm Jr., they combined to tie it up. Gordon, he played Jesus Sanchez, and Jazz, he played it himself. Now we're going to skip to the 5th because New York not only stole those runs back, but they actually ran it up to a 7-2 ball game after McNeil drove home a pair. But this is why I said to get comfy, maybe get some snacks and a beverage. Nicky Lopez brought home the other Nick, and Jazz drove home Lopez. So this is all in the 7th, by the way. The Mets had to deploy Reed Garrett with 2 outs. He only needs the 1, and Brian De La Cruz, he was able to poke one through, and Jazz, he got all the way to third base. Josh Bell, he then took advantage of that. He dunked in a base hit after getting fooled. Like, that was an odd swing, but it worked out. Just when you thought Miami might make the comeback, the Mets, they kept tacking on insurance runs. JD Martinez has been incredible for the Mets. His 9th inning double scored Nimmo, and then JD scored on a double from Starling Marte, so they're up by 4 now. Edwin Diaz, he trots in. I don't know if he was spooked by the fact that the last time he was in this ballpark was in the WBC, but I don't know, man. Jazz's 3rd RBI of the night brought it to a 3-run deficit. 2 runners are on for Josh Bell, and not the point. He pointed like it was going to be a pop-up. Instead, it's a game-tying 3-run home run, his 3rd blown save in the last week. So we go to extras. Lopez is facing off against Lopez, and Lopez won. Otto Lopez completes the comeback. I don't know if I called Otto Lopez Nicky Lopez earlier in the game. If I did, I completely botched that. But Otto, he walks it off. what a game. Now, after the game, Edwin, he said in a press conference that he's lost all of his confidence and that he would 100% accept a demotion from the closer's role until he gets his confidence back. That right there is a team leader. You love to see that. I don't love the fact that he's getting teed up on, but the fact that he's self-aware and accountable. I'm just praying that Edwin turns it around in the next week or two because he is one of the most fun players to watch in baseball, regardless of position. Now, before we show the other New York team and the fact that they made the White Sox look like a 12U travel ball team, we got to check out the Nationals and the Phillies. Joey Meneses and the Nationals actually struck first. He singled off of Christopher Sanchez. Sanchez, by the way, struck out 9, and he did allow another run to score in the 5th, but he was good. 2 runs, 8 strikeouts. CJ, he snuck it past the infield, and Jacob Young, he turned on the blazing speed by scoring from first, and I think that CJ helped out because CJ tried for 2 bases, and maybe that caused Castellanos to not look home. Jacob Young, he scores. Washington is up 1. Well, I guess I need to use the past tense of that. They were up 1 because my friend Bryson Stott, he charged up for a game-tying home run. He went lefty-lefty off of Mackenzie Gore. No stride at all, just straight to the ball. He's on pace for an almost 20-50 season. Orion Kerkering, he towed the mound, and Jesse Winker, he blistered an RBI single back up the middle. And that's not good because now you got to face Kyle Finnegan, who is not allowed a run in a month. Okay, reset the scoreless streak. Cody Clemens has one of the goofiest swings I've ever seen, but he ties it right back up on his 3rd home run. We have another game where fans got free baseball. We're in the bottom of the 10th, the 2-timers at the dish, and that'll get it done. Johan Rojas could crawl home. Now, it doesn't help his batting average with runners in scoring position, but in those at-bats, Bryce, with runners in scoring position, he's hitting .360 with 28 RBIs. He is one of the most clutch hitters we've ever seen. So the Phillies get win number 33, and I basically already spoiled it, but the Yankees, they got their 32nd win and one of the easier games of the year. Some called this game an emasculation of the White Sox, which is kind of dramatic, but also accurate. After Benintendi doubled in Pham, that triggered something in the Yankees. Like, they ceased to be the Yankees and in stepped the Bronx Bombers. Juan Soto just became the 3rd Yankees player with 10 home runs. The Yankees are the only team in baseball with 3 guys in double digits. That was his first of 2. Wait for the second one. Stanton, he doubled with 2 outs, so because 2 were down, Verdugo, he can think home off the bat. He scores. Giancarlo's on a hot streak, and okay, Jose Trevino smokes a line drive home run. Then Juan Soto drove in another RBI, so it was only 4-1, but it felt like they were up a million. I mean, this just added to the feeling that Chicago had no chance. Stanton, he somehow muscled one the other way, but that's just what happens when you don't have a B swing. Stanton has an A swing every single time that he swings the bat, max energy, and Soto, my goodness, 440 feet on that mammoth home run. He went 4 for 4 with the walk. He got on base 5 times. I think he just secured $500 million over 10 years. And hang on for more Soto talk because we got to show why the White Sox look like a travel ball team. That strikeout number 7 in a row for Luis Gil. Vaughn, he's down hacking, and same with Benintendi. That's 8 strikeouts in a row and 13 on the afternoon for Luis Gil. Make it 14. The Yankees, they went easy on their 32nd dub. The reason why I say the Juan Soto trade is shaping up to be one of the best trades we've seen in the last decade or two, it's not just because they got Juan Soto and he's on pace for one of the best offensive seasons of all time. They also kept Luis Gil, who just struck out 14. He has a 2.4 ERA. They also kept Clark Schmidt, who has a 2.5 ERA and 55 strikeouts in 50 innings. Brian Cashman, I think he's condescending, but he absolutely cooked in this trade. And you got to remember, the reason why $500 million is on the table is because Juan Soto is only 25 years old. It feels like he's 30 because he's been in the league and raking for so long. All right, here we go. Some other games that were not close at all. The Giants, they put a hurting on the Rockies again. And man, oh man, this Luis Matos kid has been flashing some serious talent over the last 48 hours. He had a 5 RBI day yesterday. He went off for 6 more RBIs in this one. He hammered a double in the 3rd for an RBI. Remember, he added muscle over the offseason, so it's actually working. The Rockies made it interesting, but San Francisco kept on answering and dumping more runs on the Rockies staff. Jorge Soler, his single made it 7-4, and Elliot Ramos, he played at Chapman for their 8th run. Okay, now it's 9 runs because Tyro Estrada, he doubled in Jorge Soler. So the bases are juiced for Luis Matos, and yet again, he straight up made 95 on the corner look easy to pull. Those final 2 RBIs give him 6 on the day, so that's 6 base hits and 11 RBIs over a 2-game span. He just became the youngest player ever with back-to-back 5+ RBI games ever, like in the history of baseball. Elliot Ramos has been sizzling baseballs as well. He had another RBI on that double. Casali, he drove home the final 2 runs to make it 14. It's crazy that the Rockies went from unbeatable to being exactly what the Giants needed to break out of their slump. This got me so hyped up. J-Ram put up a 12-pitch at-bat off of Bailey over 12 pitches. This was an at-bat straight out of MLB The Show, which we all call MLB The Foul Ball. Look at his batting average and at-bats that went 10+ pitches. He is a monster. He adds to those stats with a 2-run jack on the the 12th pitch of the at-bat. That started a barrage of scoring. J-Ram actually made it 3-zip for his 3rd RBI and his 2nd extra base hit of the first 3 innings. Tyler Freeman had a monster game, and he's been a monster ever since Stephen Kwan went down with an injury and he became the leadoff hitter. He missed a 2-run home run by a few inches. Will Brennan, he then smoked a line drive to center. Buxton's got a cannon, so it's going to be close, but David Fry, he snuck his foot in there. Speaking of sneaking things in, Kyle Manzardo snuck one down the left field line, which is big for his confidence. He was maybe the best hitter in AAA, gets called up, he's struggling, but again, he's a rookie. Not everyone is Soto out the gate, so I feel like he's going to be just fine. Logan Allen, he was amazing on the bump. He had 7 strikeouts over 6 shutout. He only walked 1, which is the key to any pitcher's success. The less you walk, usually the better you are. Freeman, he doubled for his 4th hit, so just like Juan Soto, he secured a monster 3 RBI day, and because he walked later, he got on base 5 times. Cleveland, they broke the double digits after Anderson Menace flared one to shallow center. Andres, he's hitting an insane 463 with a 214 OPS plus with runners in scoring position. The Guardians, they've won 2 in a row. The Minnesota Twins have lost 5 in a row. By the way, guys, sorry if it sounds like I'm going a little bit quicker today. I have church and some things to do, so I'm trying to get this video out, but yeah, I'm rushing. Here's Salvi doing Salvi things against the A's. That RBI single brings his RBI total to 36 in 45 games. He's basically hitting like the right-handed 2023 Corey Seager. Seth Brown has a ton of power. He just hasn't really shown it this year, so that's cool. Maybe that gets him going. You know what else is cool? An unassisted double play. JJ Bleday hit one straight to Vinny. That ends the 5th inning. Vinny clutched up again in the 5th inning. He lasered a single to give the Royals their lead back, all while Seth Lugo was punching out everyone and their mother. Soderstrom got rung up. That was Lugo's 10th strikeout of the game, so back-to-back starts in which he's had double digits. He has a 1.79 ERA despite the fact that he has pitched the most innings in all of baseball this year. Nelson Velasquez, he's been a little bit better as of late. That's an RBI scorcher. And good for the A's. They made their fans think that they can make a comeback, but Kyle Isbell said, nah, we got this. That's his 4th home run of the year. James MacArthur yet again allowed multiple base runners to get on, but he does get his 11th save. The A's, they're back to looking like a rudderless ship with no direction. They've lost 7 in a row. The Royals are 1.5 games back for first place, whereas these next 2 teams are way behind in the division, which is crazy because I feel like the Jays and the Rays are not that bad. Vladdy ripped a double to start the 5th, and he scores on a George Springer single. George is now hitting 197, and he's been moved down to the 6th spot. So he's really looking to get locked in and get a hot streak going here soon. Kevin Gausman helped himself out big time in the 5th inning. Caballero doubled, and then Kevin picked him off. And then the defense stepped up. Varsho had a nice little sliding grab in left field. And look at this teamwork. It deflects off of Biggio's glove. It goes straight to Bo Bichette, and he tossed a seed, kind of. It was a hard throw, but Vladdy, he had to pick it. A nice job to scoop it. Dalton laced an extra base hit. He went to the left center gap for 2 more RBIs. He's got 16 extra base hits, 21 RBIs, and he's on pace for an almost 6 F4 season because of his otherworldly defense. Vladdy had his fingerprints all over this game. He singled in Varsho for his 20th RBI. He's hitting 340 over his last 27 games. Only 1 home run, though, so maybe he's embracing the fact that he is the right-handed Luis Ariz. Now, the Rays, they pulled an A's. They would not go down without a fight. Ahmed Rosario, he played a 2 on a single. Okay, here comes the Rays. Caballero, he makes it a 1-run game, and in steps Johnny DeLuca, who walked and stole a base earlier, add a 2-run home run to his game resume. This dude's got some talent. That's 12 RBIs and 40 at-bats this year. Don't forget the top 6% speed and defense. Johnny actually wins it. Clevenger, he comes in for his 3rd save. The Rays, they've won 4 in a row. All right, I'm going to get this next game done real quick because it wasn't really a game. It kind of felt like the Yankees and Sox game. A 1 or 2 run lead must have felt like a zillion for Reds fans because Walker Buehler was vintage Walker Buehler, which makes me very happy as a baseball fan. He was dealing through 3. We'll talk about him more in a second. Andy Pages, he continues to rake. He brings home the 1st run. He's pretty much replaced the production that James Outman was not giving them. Gavin Lux dribbled in an RBI, and that's a cool play from Ashcraft, but a run scores regardless. Freddie Freeman, he has RBI number 25, and it's crazy that a slumping Freddie Freeman is a 295 hitter. Buehler, he had 7 strikeouts over 6 shutout. He made Cincy look silly all night long. Ellie and Mike Ford were his final victims. Teoscar, he ends the game on an accidental swing. He has 37 RBIs as a 6-hitter. Again, sorry if I'm going a little bit quicker, but look at this. Seattle got put in a blender by Grayson Rodriguez, who probably just turned in his best start as a big leaguer. I'm just going to show his 7 strikeouts because he struck out those 7 Mariners on 1 base hit allowed. 50 of his 82 pitches went for strikes, which might not sound great, but for Grayson Rodriguez, that is big because he can get wild. The only problem is his bullpen blew it. Ty France, he doubled in Urias after Mullins just missed the diving grab, so we have a tie ball game. Seattle, they kept placing it perfectly with runners on. Cal Raleigh, he stole the lead on a double to left field. Dylan Moore, the same thing. He perfectly placed a dart down the left field line. And guys, if you are not looking, I know that this didn't mean anything for the final score. My goodness, that is just insane. I wish I could play the audio because it sounded like a perfect from MLB The Show. Andres Munoz, he forgot about that. He locked back in. He struck out Adley for his 8th save. That's a big win for the Mariners, considering the Rangers walked off the Angels. Staying with an AL West team, the Astros win streak was finally put to rest. A perfect relay robbed John Singleton of a double. He should know better. He literally has a single in his name. The Astros, they went up 1, but Blake Perkins tied it on a sac fly, and Contreras, he pulled a J-Ram. He went yard on the 13th pitch of this at-bat versus Verlander. He goes 430 feet on that 3-run Predator missile. Closer Trevor Megill, he dialed up a 1-hundo fastball to get Caratini looking. Megill quietly has a 1.5 ERA, 6 saves, and a 10 strikeouts per 9. The Brewers are still 2 games up on the Cubs, and the NL Central should be a very fun race for the rest of the year. And it could get even more fun if St. Louis has it figured out on the offensive side of things. I mean, look at defensively. The 9-time Gold Glover makes a tough barehanded throw. Nolan robs Grissom of a base hit, and Nolan Gorman robbed Red Sox fans of happiness. Devers, he actually got some happiness back, though. He has a home run in 4 consecutive games. Nolan Arenado made a nice little running grab in foul territory to rob Jarren Duran, and that's probably it for Boston hitters. Actually, hold on. After Lars Nootbaar hit one just soft enough to tie it, pinch hitter Rob Refsnyder, he showed why he's a top 10 bat in baseball versus lefties. Duran, he's basically Sonic the Hedgehog, so he can score easy for the lead, but then the Redbird, 3 consecutive hits tied again. Ivan Herrera now owns a 9-game hit streak. Gorman blooped in another, make it 4 consecutive hits. Mason Wynn, his sac fly pushed it to 5-2, and Lars, he quickly added to it. Rob let it get past him, though. He stayed in the game, so 2 end up scoring after he just completely olayed it. St. Louis has won 2 in a row, and the crazy part is they flip-flop what their strength was as a team. They're top 4 the last few weeks in team OPS, but they're second to last in team ERA. Can I interest you guys in a 16-game hit streak courtesy of Ketel Marte? His 3-bagger had Arizona fans feeling good about themselves, and then Jacques added to it with an RBI single. But Javier Baez has been feeling himself. What is that, like 6 RBIs over his last 2 games? The former D-back Carson Kelly, he knocked out his old battery mate Zach Gallen, and Wencel Perez, he's going to try deep left field. Jake McCarthy can fly, but it drops in. Wencel Perez clears the bases for a stand-up triple. Detroit threw up a few now, and I don't know what happened, but Jack Flaherty and the Arizona Diamondback and coaching crew were jawing at each other. I guess that Flaherty was not liking the fact that the mound kept getting messed up. Gio Urshela got the scoring started again, and that single kind of looked like a rock that was skipped over a pond. It just kept bouncing. Carson Kelly wanted to rub it in even more. He had another RBI, and man, I thought that Wencel Perez was about to add a grand slam. He leaves with a big 4 RBI day. His batting average is at 300. He also has 13 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, and a 1 WAR on the season. The Tigers, they wrap up their 23rd win to get back over 500, whereas the Diamondbacks, they can't seem to find their stride. They win a few, and then they lose a few. That does it for today's recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Tomorrow should be kind of a normal pace recap. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the web gems.
Diving stop, it's short. Williams to his feet. Oh, what a play!
Condo in the city and on top of Rincon Hill. That ball is really hit well, and that ball is caught.
Deep short, Abrams plants, fires on a hop.
In the center field loop, Rafaela coming on, hard run, dives it.
And this one on the ground, Mason Wynn dives to his left, fires a strike.
2-2, grounded deluxe on the backhand, falling away, throwing it to first.
That ball's hit toward first, diving catch made by Harper.